and you're into upkeep, and if you stay in upkeep much longer while he's not in upkeep, it's to his advantage, so you need to keep your advantage by putting up an expansion. That's his thinking. St0p, on the other hand, because he knew where the orc just was, and he knows where the orc's about to go to his expansion, he goes cross-map and creeps the red camp. It's really easy for him to do with Master Bears, and it gets him a really good item in the Staff of Silence that stops Dispel it for a little bit, and also stops Healing Wave, and it also gets him 3/3, so he gets that coveted level 3 on the Panda, which is a really key moment for both players, really, when your second hero is level 3. But his focus has been there for a lot longer, so St0p hasn't been able to fight. The next thing St0p does is really smart. He knows if he teleports in here, he's going to lose this battle. There are 3 Kodos, he only has 4 bears, so, I mean, you do the math. The orc's army is just huge, he cannot fight it. What he does do, though, is creep right next to the orc's base. First of all, this creeping is going to get him a Tome of Experience, and it's going to get him Vamp Aura, 2 really useful drops for the elf at this point in time, because it makes the bears that much better. But also, timing-wise, he can now attack the orc with these Goblin Sappers that he's just purchased to force the orc to teleport to the orc's base, to force focus out of his base. Why is this good? Because you can't have the orc tearing up your base when you can't fight him. He knows if he teleports now, he's going to lose the game, because he cannot fight the orc army. Instead, he sends the sappers in to the orc's stronghold, so he's doing that now, to force focus to teleport back to his base. St0p knows he can't fight. He knows he has no chance, so he teleports out. St0p's chance right now rests in getting this expo up, and in getting into upkeep, and getting an army that can actually fight Focus's army. So you'll notice, at first they were 50 versus 65 food, I think. Yeah, 50 versus 65 food. 50 food for the elf, 65 for Focus, so obviously the elf couldn't fight. And now, St0p is at 62 food, he's into upkeep, and the orc is at 68 food, I think. Yeah, so now there's only a 6 food difference between the 2 of them. So it was really smart play by St0p there in getting himself back into this game. And once again, the orc still has not expanded, because he doesn't think that the elf has an expansion. So he just does the thing that's logical for him, creep up, get better heroes, while you know that the elf's in his base. Anyways, St0p sees the elf, St0p sees Focus, and he knows once again he can't fight, and if the orc's going to force a fight, he wants to force the fight in the elf's base, where the elf has Moonwells and Ancients, and it's basically to his advantage. A bear gets hexed, and really quickly and smartly, St0p staffs it out. A really good move on St0p's part. Anyways, here's kind of the climactic moment for Focus, because he's fighting uphill. He's fighting against an expansion. And even though he's had the advantage all game long, he's about to find out that he has an expansion. Even though he's had an advantage all game long, if the elf gets up this the elf's expansion up, if the elf starts to use his gold income that he's getting from this expansion, he's going to overrun Focus, even though Focus has had map control all game long and has better heroes. So, what does Focus do? He doesn't attack the expansion, because by the time he gets there and by the time he takes it out, the elf will have had all of the gold advantage he really needs from it. He probably would even let it die. Instead, he takes out Moonwells, the shop, production buildings, everything that St0p would need to take advantage of the expansion. And so basically, St0p is going to be building up gold, but not be able to build an army. So the fight starts. Notice the Spirit Link, really key, going off from the elf's point of view. They have Fairy Dragons. The Kodos focus the Fairy Dragons. That's really necessary, because they're going to eat up your casters. Healing Wave and Heal Scrolls go off every time St0p uses Breath of Fire. The Demon Hunter, the Blade Master, you have to be very careful with the Blade Master. He didn't have an invulnerability potion, so you don't want to get him taking a lot of damage. Every time he Focus pulls him out of Windwalk, it's because he has enough mana for Healing Wave to keep him alive better. He forces a port from St0p and into the back of his base, where he's just a little bit safer. Now Focus's units are pretty much all red. He has mana for Healing Wave, which is nice, but he's still very low. He knows he's fighting against an expansion, and he knows he can't kill that last lore. So he tries to tower. It's kind of the logical thing to do. And St0p also logically uproots his tree for that extra bit of fight. And Focus knows that if he fights against this Panda and this DH, he's going to take horrible losses, and because he doesn't have an expansion, and because he's in upkeep, he's not going to be able to recover from them as well as St0p is going to be able to recover. So he does the next smartest thing he can do, and goes back to buy some Healing Scrolls. The idea is that's just going to negate the panda, and he also knows that Citini's just given up a bit of his golden income advantage because now his tree's been uprooted. Anyways, something that was key was taking out the shop, because now, even though St0p has, how much gold does he have? 728 gold, he can't buy healing potions and mana potions for his panda, which would give him infinite breath of fire, and really probably give him the game. So the last thing that St0p does is detonate some wisps to try and take out the Waka mana. At this point, it's just the orc focusing down heroes. There's 3 dryads and 2 heroes left. It's pretty much a good game. So neither player really made any huge mistake. It was good play by Focus, good timing by Focus, and good map control in the end that got him the win. And St0p almost pulled back from it. This is a pretty good example of how to recover a lost cause by sneaking in that expansion and by manipulating the orc and the orc's timing. Remember, he forced a port using the sappers. Really intelligent move on his part, which gave him that it bought him the extra time to get back into the game. So that pretty much demonstrates the cookie cutter side of this matchup on this map and with those units. And I really stress, I think it's really useful for the orc to know how to play Twisted Meadows, because it's not the best dot map. And like, if you know how to play Turtle Rock, that's great, but it's still Turtle Rock, and you still have to play against dots when it's, dots at their best. Everything's heavy armor. So knowing how to play on Twisted Meadows and knowing how to play against bears is pretty important, especially because that translates into Secret Valley, Knollwood, and Lost Temple, which are kind of the standard bear maps for Elf. Anyways, that's my first audio commentary. I hope you guys like it. I'm sorry I've been sick. I'm sorry this took so long. Please feel free to leave any comments and suggestions in the thread. I will read them, and I'll do my best to respond. One thing I want to say, I'm St0p on the forums. I'm St0p with a period on Battle.net. You can find, I'm still top 20, I think, in the ladder, so it shouldn't be too hard to find my account. Feel free to PM me on the forums, or whisper me when I'm on Battle.net, or make a thread. I will answer any questions you have. I'll do my best to get back to you like that. I should be fairly easy to contact. I'm on break till the 20th of January, which means I have nothing to do but play Warcraft for a pretty long time, so feel free to ask me any questions you have about matchups concerning Orc. And yeah, leave me comments. I want to know how I can improve and be a better audio commentator. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace.